Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Coach Craig Sports. Today is Monday, May 16th, and this is the MLB DFS video for today. So in today's video, we'll be taking a quick look back at yesterday's picks, seeing how they turned out, talking about my core picks for today's FanDuel main slate, as well as my top GPP stacks from my article over at WeBetATS.com. But without further ado, we'll get started with a recap of yesterday's picks. At the pitcher position, we had Justin Verlander, $10,500. The most expensive player on yesterday's slate. He got us 36 points. So I did give him a push. He wasn't bad. He just wasn't quite as good as we wanted him to be. Obviously, if he pitches that extra inning, he gets an extra 4 points, probably gets a couple extra points in there too from the inning, maybe a strikeout or two. It looks like a lot better play, but unfortunately he only ended up pitching 5 innings yesterday. That was kind of his downfall when there were some other decent pitchers on yesterday's slate. Then we moved down to his teammate Yuri Gurriel, who was $2,600, got to 24.7 points. He was a hit, and he was the third overall first baseman yesterday, so a very good hit. Then we had Isaiah Kiner-Falefa, $2,500. You can play him at shortstop. You can play him at third base. He got to 6.2 points. I gave him a push. You could consider this a hit just based on his cheap price tag overall. And then we had Starling Marte, $3,400, ended up with 6 points, so I did give him a push as well. Obviously, we were looking for a double-digit performance out of him, but not a guy that hurt us, but not a guy that over the top helped us or anything else like that. And then we had Michael Taylor in the outfield as well, $2,700, got 6 points, just another push there. So kind of not a bad day overall, but not a good day either. So if you had some other good plays to go along with these guys, there were some guys in my cheat sheet that did do very well, and from my top GPP stacks that did very well yesterday. So if you had exposure to some of those guys, you still had a pretty good chance of cashing. Shout out to David, as he is one of my close followers. He had a lineup where he kind of took this core. He got Colton Wong, he got Chas McCormick in there as well from the top GPP stacks, and he ended up with a lineup that had 180 points and made about a net profit of $75. So definitely shout out to David. Definitely appreciate all the support that you have given myself and JC Money Design over on our show over there as well. But with that being said, we'll get moved over to my core picks for today. So we're going to start off at the pitcher position with Freddie Peralta, $9,700. Kind of been a story of 2 seasons for Freddie Peralta. The first about 3 starts or so of the year have been very, very poor, but they were against teams that have hit him pretty well in the past. As of late, he's pitching better. Got a good chance for a quality start here today against Atlanta. He's got decent history versus these Atlanta hitters. And then you also have the fact that Ronald Acuna might not end up playing in this game. He's a little bit banged up at this point in time. And then we move down to first baseman Trey Mancini, $2,800, averaging about 8 fantasy points per game on this season. Goes against Luis Severino of the New York Yankees today, 5 for 16 with 1 home run against him in his career, so there is some upside there. I was also looking at Christian Walker, $2,600. He's been on a hot streak as of late. Last night when I was doing my research, we didn't know exactly who was going to be starting for the Dodgers today. Looks like it's going to be Tony Gonsolin, though. And Christian Walker is 0 for 10 versus Tony Gonsolin. But if you want to put Christian Walker in your lineup instead of Trey Mancini, that's definitely understandable as well. And then we're going down to our paydown option, and Brendan Donovan, $2,400 for the St. Louis Cardinals, goes against Trevor Williams, not the best pitcher in the world. Probably not going to pitch too deep into this game. Brendan Donovan's been putting up respectable numbers since his call-up. There's definitely some opportunities there in St. Louis, whether it's at shortstop or different positions, since he does have that ability to play multiple positions. Also keep in mind this is a game that has a chance of rain, so just follow that throughout the day, and hopefully if that does become the case, we know it ahead of time and you're able to switch off of these guys. And if that is the case, I will try to post pivots as much as I can. Hopefully we just have that news sooner rather than later, since I do have a baseball game that I'm coaching later today. So just be on the lookout for that as well. Then we have his teammate, third baseman Nolan Arenado, $3,800. He's 4 for 9 with 2 home runs versus Trevor Williams. It's Nolan Arenado. He's a very, very good hitter. Very good matchup. Can't really say too much here, averaging, over 12.5 fantasy points per game on the season. One of the better hitters to start off this season overall. Then last but not least, we move down to Teoscar Hernandez at $2,900, averaging just under 8.5 fantasy points per game. He's been kind of hit or miss since he returned from his injury stint, but he goes against Chris Flexen of the Seattle Mariners today, 2 for 5 versus him in his career, and it does seem like he should have some upside in this game tonight. But with that being said, if you go with these 5 players that I do have listed here, you have $13,400 remaining, just over $3,300 per player, so a little bit of room to spend up if you want to spend up some for somebody like, say, a Mike Trout. That's somebody I'm very interested in today. And then Ty France is another one. Obviously, we got Mancini and Brendan Donovan in there already, but if you want to play Ty France over one of them and pay down at a different spot, you could definitely do that as well. Definitely a lot of great options out there today since it is an 11-game slate overall. But with that being said, we'll get moved over to my article and talk about the top stacks for today's slate on FanDuel. So the top stacks that I do have at this point in time, St. Louis Cardinals going against the New York Mets and Trevor Williams. Kind of already mentioned Trevor Williams isn't the greatest pitcher in the world, doesn't strike out a lot of guys, probably not going to pitch too far deep into this game at this point in time. So you see some of that Mets bullpen as well. Cardinals hitters have fared very well against Williams, although the one thing I mentioned already, this game has a chance of rain, so just be on the lookout for that. And then we have the Toronto Blue Jays going against Chris Flexen and the Seattle Mariners. A decent amount of these hitters have pretty good history versus him. Mentioned Teoscar Hernandez before. You could play him. Vladimir Guerrero. There's a couple different guys in there. George Springer, if you believe he's healthy enough to have success today, since he did roll his ankle a couple of days ago. And then we have the Colorado Rockies going against Alex Wood, and they actually have really good history versus him. So a lot of these Rockies hitters are in play, although I think Brendan Rodgers is the only one that made the cheat sheet. You could definitely look at some of these other guys on that team as well. But with that being said, these are my core picks as well as top GPP stacks for today, May 16th. As always, if you have any questions related to MLB DFS, be sure to leave them down in the comments below and I'll get back to you as quickly as possible. Also, be sure to let me know your favorite play on tonight's slate. Maybe somebody from my core 5, maybe somebody from my top GPP stacks, or maybe a completely different player that you guys think I missed. Definitely interested in hearing what you had to say. But with that being said, if you are new to my channel, please consider subscribing. Definitely would appreciate it. It helps to build the community that we're trying to build here at CoachCraigSports, which is one that's truly for you, the viewers, helping you with your DFS, whether it's MLB or USFL. Those are the two main ones at this point in time. I'm doing daily MLB DFS videos and then a weekly USFL DFS video. Unfortunately, this week I wasn't able to put out the USFL video. I was able to put out a post, and for the most part, the lineups did fairly well. So it wasn't a bad week in terms of USFL. There's a couple things that happened in terms of that we didn't expect. Probably going to talk about that in my video this week. And then with that being said, if you're a newer current subscriber yet to do so, also be sure to hit that notification bell down below. It's going to let you know every single time I post up a new video. Like I've been saying, I post up daily MLB DFS videos just like this. But with that being said, that's all I have for today's video. Hopefully you all enjoyed. And then last but not least, special shout out to each and every one of you watching today's video. I truly do appreciate you taking the time out of your day to watch this video. Definitely means a lot to me, and I hope each and every one of you has a great rest of your day.